Hi everyone, my name is Sophie, and with Ma Puce à l'oreille, I share my ideas, my visions, my experiences, and I meet inspiring people who are doing great things for the world. And today I'm going to meet some people working at Bikes Together, which is this great place behind me in the center of Denver, Colorado, and it's a interesting place that is doing great things for people and for the planet. So let's go and meet them.
So my name is Abby Bohannon. I'm the Executive Director of Bikes Together. Do you want me to share more about Bikes Together? Okay. So Bikes Together is a nonprofit bicycle shop and kind of community hub for equitable bike access and education. We provide a lot of cost-flexible options to get or maintain a bike and build bike community, build people's confidence with bike mechanics, and generally try and get more folks on bikes.
Yeah, so how does it work?
Mm-hmm. So we're a nonprofit bike shop, so we rely on bicycle donations. So people will donate their bikes to our shop, and then we'll do a bunch of different things with them. Sometimes we refurbish them, and we use that to support the shop. We'll take some of the bikes, make sure that they're in good quality, they're fixable, and we'll sell them at a cost-flexible price to help folks kind of reduce the barriers, the economic barriers to bicycle access. So we have bikes that are outside that are listed between $25 and like $200, but it kind of depends. If somebody comes to us with $5 or $10 or whatever, we'll work with them on their budget and make sure that they can get a bike for whatever they can pay. We also have different programming, so we have mechanics programming. We have a program called Learn and Repair. So a lot of times if folks are getting a bike, we recommend that they sign up for Learn and Repair, and that's an opportunity for them to work one-on-one with a mechanic for 40 minutes to learn about their bike, fix up anything that's needed on the bike. Learn and Repair is also a suggested donation. So again, for folks who maybe don't have a lot of economic resources, we make it so that they can get a bike and make sure that they're rolling away safely and get a bike that fits them, get a bike that fits their needs, make sure that they can ride on whatever type of terrain they're supposed to ride on, or that they're wanting to ride on safely. We also are a full service bike shop, so if folks don't want to fix up their own bike, they can check them in under service department and pay for the mechanics to do it. And then we have a lot of different classes. So we have a 4-part mechanics series kind of designed to help people build confidence with bike mechanics. We have a gender equality mechanics series, so that's it happens monthly, and then there's also a class that folks can take, and that's open for women, trans folks, non-binary folks, and generally folks who are kind of not represented in the bike mechanic industry. What else do? We do a lot of off-site events, so generally try and make bike repair accessible for anybody. We have a partnership with the Denver Public Library, so people can come to us in the summertime, work with the go to a Denver Public Library location and get their bikes repaired for free. And then we also work with the library to make sure that they have fix-a-flat kits available. So no matter where somebody is in the city, if they're not close to a bike shop, if they don't have any money, they have a library card, they can go to the library and get their bikes repaired for free. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome. So it sounds like a lot of what you do is centered around the idea of accessibility in terms of price, in terms of skills, for people to feel more able to access what otherwise would be really pricey. I personally wanted to repair my bikes, and I started to look all around, and I was like, wow, it's so expensive to repair my bike. I would just need to buy a new bike. It would be as much money. And then I was specifically looking for a place that I could do self-repair of my bike, and I found you guys, and I was excited about that. And I had such a great experience with Molly last week, and
awesome.
that was really beautiful to see that I was able to pick parts that were used, and I didn't necessarily have to buy something totally new. So that's really contributing to not producing more materials in the world, and just trying to reuse something that otherwise would go to the landfill or recycling, and to extend the life of a bike, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, bikes are really amazing for a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons is that they're sort of infinitely repairable. So if it's well made and you take care of it, you can sort of ride it forever. We get a lot of bikes that come into the shop that are made from in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and people are still riding them today because they've replaced things that are broken and they've sort of found fixes. Another unfortunate thing is that a lot of these new bikes, a lot of department store bikes are built with kind of poor quality, so they're kind of designed to wear out and break. And then there are a lot of people who think that their only option is to buy a new bike. So yeah, we're really here to reduce any kind of economic, social, educational barriers to bicycle access and bike mechanics, and help people know that that you can fix something that's broken and you can keep your bike running for a long time. And it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of skills. There's a tool set, and we help people kind of build confidence and build the skills to work on their own bikes.
Yeah, those all look like nice tires, don't they?
Some of those are pretty good.
Yeah. We should separate this.
That's awesome. It has a huge impact, I think, environmentally. That's what I like about this place. What do you like the most about this place? Why do you work here, and what makes you happy to work here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think the environmental piece is definitely huge. This past year, we recovered, recycled, redistributed, or repurposed about 57,000 pounds of bikes and bike parts, and that's including the ones that we had to send to the scrapyard, including the ones that we sold. The bike parts, like if we sold a handful of spokes, those are all kind of included in that estimate. But that's like the weight and volume of about 2 fire trucks. That's a lot. That's a lot of bikes. Probably more than that in terms of volume. But yeah, I really like working here and being part of this organization because we do have such an impact, both in terms of caring for the environment, in terms of helping people have agency over their own transportation and build skills and confidence. And another thing that we try and do in the shop is just make it really accessible for anybody to come in and feel like they belong in a bike shop. I think a lot of folks come into bike shops and they have an experience where, like you described, you walk in, the mechanic tells you that there are a lot of things that are broken, gives you a very high price tag, doesn't really give you a lot of information as to why that is. So we try and kind of help educate people on the repairs that they need and different avenues to fix their bikes without shelling out a lot of money.
It's gone.
Wow, good job.
I'm Molly. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the program manager here at Bikes Together in Denver.
And I'm Lori, and today I'm working as a volunteer mechanic in the back.
That's cool.
But she's also an employee
I'm
who
also
does
staff.
service mechanics
In the front.
on the other side shop. And other things.
Yeah.
Well, manufacturing.
Sweet. So you come here and you go, like when they need you, come and work as an employee, and the rest
Yeah,
of
on
you are
Fridays I
volunteers?
work as a volunteer, and then any other days, Fridays I work as an employee, and any other days I volunteer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it helps me keep up on my bike skills, because when you work on bikes back here, there's so many problems and so many different kinds of bikes, and they're really old, and you kind of really have to know your stuff when you work on stuff back here.
So that leads me to my questions, like what do you love the most about this place? Why do you come here? Why do you work here?
Yeah. I've always loved Bikes Together because it was the first bike shop I went into where somebody was like, here's a tool, you fix it. And showed me how to use the tools and showed me how to learn the different parts of the bike, and just really put that power into my hands to ride a bike and take care of it. I spent several winters. I would go away for the summer, come back in the winter, and come here and just clean my bike. It was my winter respite. And I just loved that it was just a place where I could come and play with bikes and meet really cool people who play with bikes, and just learn and ask questions, and
So I did the opposite. I'm a retired teacher, so I taught during the year and would come in the summer and work with a mechanic that really helped me. I took a class, but you have to really keep working at it to learn everything. So just working with that mechanic really helped me. And the other thing I really like about this place is helping people get on and stay on their bikes, and helping them learn how to keep their bikes going so that they can just stay on the same bike. If they have a good bike, it should run for 20 to 30 years, if we just keep up the maintenance on it.
I feel like it's less true in France and in Europe, but in the US, without a car, you can't do anything. So car has a huge place in people's lives in the
Yeah.
US, and bikes a little less, and it's really amazing to see that you can actually find places where bike is actually your medium of transportation, and you can work on it, you can gain skills on it. It's really, really fun to see that.
Yeah.
Because transportation is a big thing in the US.
It is, yeah. And I think in Denver especially, I think Denver has come a long way in terms of creating bike lanes and just making sure that the built environment is accessible and is safe for people who want to ride their bike. And there's still a long way to go. I think, I think that we have a lot of folks that are hit by cars on their bikes, and we have a lot of people who feel unsafe biking. And I think part of that is the culture that we live in and the infrastructure that prioritizes cars over bikes. And I think Denver is recognizing that and is definitely making some steps, or taking some steps to make it more accessible and more safe for bikes. And I think part of that is, both the infrastructure and then also making sure that people have bikes that they enjoy, that are safe, that are working for them. So we're definitely, I think another thing that I really love about working here is being part of that. Being part of that process. I love riding my bike, and I think riding a bike and being able to own a bike and ride it around, it really expands your worldview, and then also just makes you more connected with the environment that you're in. When you're driving in a car, you're kind of in like a box. You have no idea what's happening around you. You tune out, and then you arrive at your destination. When you're riding your bike, you feel the wind in your hair, you smell the smells, you hear the sounds. So it's just a very different type of adventure.
That's cool. I didn't see that point of view of riding a bike, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
One more question about this place, specifically Bike Together. What's the story? How long has it been in business? And what have been the challenges and the successes that you went through with this organization?
Yeah, so Bikes Together has been around since 2008. We started in the Park Hill neighborhood, and it was created sort of as an informal social club for kids to get involved, learn about their bikes, kind of build community, have something to do. In 2000, that was in 2005. In 2008, we opened officially as a nonprofit, as the Park Hill Bike Depot, and then in 2016, we were able to expand to our second location, which is where we are now, at the corner of 10th and Osage in the Lincoln La Alma neighborhood. And I think Bikes Together has gone through many different iterations. I think we've done a lot of youth programming, we've done a lot of mechanics programming, and I think, generally, I think we've been able to help people get really excited about their bikes and confident in bike mechanics and bike ownership. I think some things that have been really challenging, are part of what you spoke to. I think that it's we live in a community that prioritizes cars over bikes. We live in a community that prioritizes new things and things that are readily available and maybe disposable over fixing things that are broken, which of course has a huge sustainability implications. I think also, running a bike shop and running a nonprofit after the pandemic was something that is really challenging. During the pandemic, we actually had to close one of our locations as a public-facing store, so this is kind of our primary public-facing location. And then I think also just, bike advocacy, just helping people understand, the value of having a bike and helping to address barriers to getting more folks on bikes.
Because the chains, because it was like too wide, it was like not catching.
And any other advice for people who would like to come and help, can they come and volunteer?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be starting like volunteer orientations in the next couple months. You can go on our website, there's a tab for volunteering, and there's like a form you can fill out with your contact info, and then I will get in touch as soon as we have those orientations ready. Feel free to shout out to the podcast so I know where you're coming from, would love to have more folks in the shop. We also do Learn and Repair, which is what Sophie's been using on Thursdays and Saturdays. Those appointments are open to the public. So you can give us a call to sign up for an appointment. You can also do a drop-in if you're not sure you can make it and you just want to come down and see if you can get in. And that's where we help you to fix your bike. Sophie is learning all about.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciated your help, and I hope the bike is running now. I'm going to go and try it outside. And
Great.
And if not, we get to see you again. And if yes, then hopefully we won't see you for a while.
So like I mentioned, we have the mobile repair clinics coming up this summer with the Denver Public Library, and then we'll be helping to reignite or reinvigorate their Fix-A-Flat kits as well. So would love to spread the word with that. We have a fundraiser coming up in April, which is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be lots of bike-related games. I think we have lots of exciting things coming up. I think we've been refurbishing a lot of bikes, so I think if you are interested in getting a bike, or you know somebody who's interested in getting a bike, sending them our way is definitely something that supports the shop. If you know somebody who wants to get their bike tuned and they don't want to do it themselves, having them check in with their service department and supporting the shop that way is fantastic. We're also, another project that we're really excited about is we're going to be helping, there's a bike bus. Are you familiar with the bike bus movement?
No.
So there's a bike bus happening, or that's being created at this elementary school in Denver called Brown International Academy, and they are going to be so it's basically an opportunity for parents and volunteers to bike to school with kids. So it's like a bus where they have different stops. They pick up kids. Instead of getting into a car, they get on their bikes and they kind of go on a big group bike ride.
Okay.
And they were noticing at the elementary school that a lot of students are not able to access that program because they don't have a bike. So another thing that we're really excited about, and that Molly's been working with, with different community volunteers, is to fix up some of these bikes and be able to make sure that those kids have bikes so they can participate. Which is very, very cool in terms of getting more people biking and seeing the value of biking. And I think another way that this is possible is just through individual donations. So we are a nonprofit, so we are funded by, we have a couple of grants, and then we are funded by the shop. But we really rely on the support of our community in donating and helping us make this happen. So I think, we accept donations of bikes, we accept monetary donations, and then I think also just spreading the word about what we do is very helpful.
That was one of my questions of the funding of such a place, because in my experience last week when I came, we did a lot of repairs on the bike with Molly, and then we went to the computer, and the computer came up. We looked into the
register?
We had like a basically proposition of donations that we could make for the work that has been done and the parts that we got from the shop.
Yeah.
And we were able to choose whether we would give like 0 or we would give the price that the computer was recommending or more to fund when people can't afford to pay that. And so there's like this balance that's happening and the possibility to donate what you want.
Yeah.
And how does that work? Is that sustainable for you? Do you have enough people paying the amount that the computer is recommending, or do you have struggles with that? Is it challenging, or?
Yeah, I think generally most people pay the suggested donation because I think people value supporting other cyclists and being able to get more people on bikes. We also, our funding, we have several different funding streams, so we don't rely entirely on that, but that is a huge part of what is very helpful. And we also don't ask questions about people's scenario. So if somebody comes in, they say they have $1 or they don't have any money, we work with them. We don't ask them questions. We don't ask to see their pay stubs. We want to make it very low cost and very we don't want to judge people or make assumptions based on where people are at in their lives. And I think we do have a lot of people who kind of are very heartwarmed by that model, and I think people who have more means will come in and they will donate. I've seen several scenarios where somebody will come in and they'll have a suggested donation, and the person behind them will say, "Oh, I'll cover that person's donation."
Wow.
So I think we do have people. I think people understand the model and kind of understand how it works. Also, the parts, the services that we offer and the used parts that we sell are priced already at a very low price. I think we have. We have a set, you can buy a set of wheels for, the suggested donation is $60. The cheapest set of wheels that you can buy online is at least double, if not triple that. So I think generally we try and make it so that it's affordable. I think people come to us because they know that our prices are really reasonable and that they're willing to pay that. And if they can't, it's sliding scale. We work with people with what they have, and our main focus is just making sure that people have what they need to keep their bikes rolling safely. You can also learn a lot about bikes from dismantling bikes. So, part of what we do, like I said, we do the recycling, and our volunteers, one of the main ways that our volunteers learn about bikes is they will come in and they'll help us take apart the bikes. And that is really great because you learn the systems of the bikes, and you learn sort of like how things are woven together, and then you can learn how to put it back together and how to tune it and how to make sure that it's, you have the right grease and everything to make it run well.
How many volunteers do you have?
That would be a Molly question. I think right now we probably have about 20 to 30 consistent volunteers.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all this with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
thanks for
I hope
coming in.
Inspire some people to come and join you here, or to start something where they are if they're not in Denver.
Or ride your bike. I think bikes
bike.
are great for a lot of reasons. Bikes are very fun. We're excited for warmer days and people can get on their bikes. But yeah, I'd say just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, enjoy the ride. So if you enjoyed this discovery and this place, I invite you to support them and to come and join their volunteer crew and repair your bike here, or even get inspired to start your own place repairing bikes with your community. And it's a great activity for me that brings people together to care for each other and care for the planet. So I encourage this type of a project, and if you subscribe to the channel and join the community on Telegram and come and ask for support on your project, if you have a similar project, I would be happy to help you. So yeah, see you next time.